Hi, we're going to continue talking about wine tasting parties. These are parties that you host yourself, and there's lots of ways to do it. I'm just naming a few of them here. This particular one is what I would call wine tasting by country or wine around the world. Yeah, let's try saying that 3 times. Anyway, in this case, what we're going to do is have your guests bring wines from a particular country or region. Now, I recommend, you can do any number you want, but you want a big enough group where you can really get some good input. And ideally, these are friends who like to taste wine also. So if you have 8, that's kind of the number we've been working with. You just have to remember, first of all, have enough glasses for everyone. Have a water glass and some water available for them to taste in between and stay hydrated. Staying hydrated, why do you want to do that? Besides the fact that some wines can actually make you feel a little thirsty, drinking more wine is not going to help that. But drinking some water in between the glasses of wine helps you from getting that hangover. And depending on how much you drink. If you're just drinking a small amount, not a big deal. But have some wine for staying hydrated, have some water for staying hydrated, and some food to eat in between. Cleanse that palate, then you're ready for the next wine. Okay, so back to the point here. Your wine tasting, take a small amount, much smaller pour. If you've got 8 people, you can't do a full pour because you will run out. So take your wine glass, and instead of your usual size pour, take it down to about half that or maybe a little less. So you want to give them about 1 ounce or 2 ounces for your pour. That way it gives them enough to taste, enough to smell, and you leave a little in the bottle so anybody wants a second shot at it, they can have that too. Okay, so now with the country or region, what you're doing is you might say, okay, everybody, depending on how specialized you want to get, you might say everybody bring a California wine, or everybody bring a Spanish wine, or a French wine, or an Italian wine. You pick one. Now, those regions or countries are all big wine regions. France, for example, I think they've got like at least a dozen, probably about 24 major wine areas. You've got Bordeaux, you've got the Loire Valley, you've got Côte du Rhône. All these regions are really big, so you might want to narrow it down. If you're doing France, you might say, okay, everybody bring a Bordeaux, or everybody bring a Côte du Rhône, everybody bring a Languedoc, whatever it might be. You pick a region, have everybody find a bottle of wine and bring one from there for that. Now again, you probably want to give some pricing instructions here. Excuse me, if you're doing France, for example, and you're going to do Burgundy, well, you're going to have to up the ante a bit because Burgundies tend to be pretty pricey. And unless you got in a very affluent group or it's a special situation, you might be saving this up, and you can do it certainly. But you're going to expect to spend, probably 5 or 6 tickets per bottle. Now, by tickets, of course, I mean the price of a movie ticket. And this is kind of how I like to price things. Go back and find the video where I talk about pricing, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, Burgundy is an expensive region. Some other areas you might be able to do a lot more reasonably. But anyway, set your price range. You want to say, okay, from this price to this price. Find a bottle of that wine, bring it. Okay, so once again, you go around and you pour the wine for each person. The first bottle, everybody gives it a taste, gives their comments. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you taste? And kind of compare notes. Do that with the second, third, fourth bottle until you've had a good time. You've had a lot of wine and a lot of food with it. So another way to enjoy it. Now, of course, doing countries, you can do a different country each time. You've got a lot of different countries to play with or a lot of regions to play with. So have fun with that and learn a lot about a wine. If you think you might do this, give me a thumbs up. And leave me comments. Let me know if you do this type of a tasting and how it comes out for you. Cheers. Everybody this time bring a Chardonnay if you're a white group, or everybody bring a Cabernet Sauvignon, or whichever one. So you're going to have a wine tasting party by varietal.